2007, I was accepted into two programs. The first was Hunter's IMA program. At Hunter, I would bring my own video work and my own experience in media making and be surrounded by peers and professionals to get a formal training in this field. The other program I was accepted to was JET program, which is the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. This program would displace me to the other side of the world, where I would teach English to students in the Japanese public education system. At the end of July 2007, I packed a couple bags and I moved to Japan, where I took a job teaching nearly 1,000 students, grades kindergarten through 8th grade, the English language and American culture. I knew maybe 2 words of Japanese. The way that I found easiest to teach was through drawing. I give them a visual reference, because that way, if I draw a man skiing and I say, George is skiing, I can explain that this person is George, who I've drawn, and that these are skis, and that this is the action of skiing. And the children of the class, the students, can also explain to me what this is in Japanese. So it kind of pictures and images have become a halfway point or a meeting point. So what we had was a 3-class lesson dedicated to the idea of learning through images, or the power of the image. We reviewed sentence structure, especially nouns, verbs, and adjectives. I introduced a template, which is sort of like those Mad Libs dittos that you have, which is it's a story that is missing its nouns and its verbs. Once upon a time, there was a blank noun. We created 4 stories. We read the stories, or presented the stories to the rest of the class, and voted on what story was our favorite. In the next class, we would turn these stories, this story that we had created and all decided that we really enjoyed, and we would turn it into a movie, which is, would say, I had no knowledge of before, which was exciting because in Japan, in rural Japan,
very good.
You know, the idea of movie making or media making is definitely not a daily thing or a common thing. So all the students were excited to experience what it would be like to make a film. The way that the 3rd class was divided was first to record the story, record the narration. The second part was to create the sound effects of the story. We had to make monkey sounds, we had to make bat hitting the ball sound, we had to make, you know, the crowds cheering for Ichiro's sound. And then the third part was to animate the story. And the way that I introduced it is that if each student or each pair decided to make one picture, that I would find a way to make that picture come to life. Once finished, I plopped it on a DVD, and we all watched it as a class. So let's do that now. This is Miyakono Chugako, 8th grades, Ichiro versus the monkeys. So enjoy.
Once upon a time, there was Ichiro living in Yankee Stadium. One day, Ichiro decided to hit.
Unfortunately, there was a war waged by monkeys, so Ichiro could not hit.
The monkey fell into Yankee Stadium on the Monkey Planet.
They fought viciously.
So Ichiro threw a monkey, which was good practice for his folklore.
It turned out to be a pretty blue day.
The end!
This lesson plan was about creating a story, which story is an international thing. Everybody has stories. When screening, we watch it twice. The first time we watched it with audio, and the second time we watched it without audio, to see if the story was still conveyed to you with just the images. Sometimes you can just tell a story through images and through pictures. And why is that important? One of our main separations is the fact that we cannot necessarily communicate with each other based on the obstacle of language. Sometimes we can use a language which is universal, which is the image. is an important message and kind of helps us be less intimidated by everything else, be less intimidated by what's foreign to you, knowing that we're all really the same, which is sort of what I went out to Japan to find out. So let's end with a few quotes from the creators of the film and what they thought about word versus image.